So I remember this movie reminded me of a couple of Hammer movies from the 50s and 60s, which are domestic thrillers.
Oh, okay.
And there are a lot of psychological thrillers, like they call mini Hitchcocks.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the pitch from Denise for this movie to you?
I think we talked about we love movies like this and they're so fun to explore and stuff, but that there was something that we could elaborate on that hadn't been kind of gotten into previously, where we really kind of isolate the issue of mental illness and the issue around domestic violence and trauma and PTSD and the idea how you can't really get through it without professional help. Like, that's just kind of the realities around it. And my character, Julia, sought that help and went into a facility for a month and got treatment and got tools to help her turn her life around, because that's the only way you break a cycle is by learning different habits. And so I just thought that was really critically important, and I really liked that it wasn't just like, oh, she's the crazy one, and then dismiss that under crazy. Well, what does that mean? Why is she crazy? How is she? Can we do anything about that? Like, she's a good person and she's a mother, and how can we figure this out? And so, I don't know, I liked that this movie goes through that whole, journey and roller coaster that is the thriller that we love, but that this one, I think, took a little bit more time and the complexities of these characters, and that was great.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because we are not living in the me generation where everybody says, I can deal with it, I can get it out, I don't need anybody, just willpower.
Yep.
And this movie says the opposite thing. You need help. And it's okay.
And it's okay. And I've said that over and over again. This the fallacy, especially the American kind of thing of pick myself up by my bootstraps and do it by myself. And I'm like, yeah, the bootstraps were made in Mexico though. So you didn't do that by yourself. I'm just saying, I think there's a reality that we are, as we're trying to talk more about, especially in social justice or other areas of intersectionality, there's a reality that we're interdependent. And I think that because of codependency being so real, people are so allergic to that it's all about the individual and all of that, and that's great, but none of us live on an island from each other. We all need each other. We're all breathing that same air. It's that cycle that's so beautiful. And I think when we start recognizing that, we'll realize that it's our strength actually to reach out and go, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me out with that? You've just now expanded. I remember the first time going to visit the Hill and going and visiting all these different congressmen and women and senators and all of the staff around them. And when you meet the staff that's around these people, you're like, oh, that's how you do it. Because each of those different members have so many people around them, and it's an extension of their brain. You now have all of those people as your resource. You don't have to know the perfect answer, because you have a committee that you can work on to really help you to get the right one that's really going to make the right change. And that's what's really provocative and interesting, is kind of going, that's my strength, actually. If I have a group of people that I can go, hey, even in the game shows, you always have that call you can make to someone or ask the audience, whatever. We're better if we can have more to pull from, and I think I really hope that really comes across on this, because if that little girl grows up to be a monster, it's not just because she grew up and decided to be a monster, because the people around her groomed her into being that. And everybody should be held accountable.
It's an environmental
It's an environment,
thing.
yeah. Yes. It really does take a village to grow beauty and love and happiness, or crazy.
And the last question is, what's Claire's role in the next Defenders?
In the Defenders?
Yes.
I'm a nurse. What are you talking about? What kind of question is this?
Because you're the glue.
I don't know about all that, but I love the whole ideas around her, and I'm so grateful that people really love Claire, because I remember when I first got asked to do it, I was like, Marvel's asking me to be in their shows. I wonder what kind of superpower I'll have. And they're like, yes, you're going to be a nurse. And I was like, does she fly though? I remember being like, what do you mean, just a nurse? Okay, she's a nurse. And it's been so awesome. People really love her, and I really love her. And it's that idea, again, every one of us we don't need a superpower to be a hero or to be a heroine. You know what I mean? We just have to use the resources that we have and see each other and help when we can. And that's just really beautiful. I love the little memes my choppy hand hurts, Claire, I need you. I'm like, I feel like Claire Temple should walk on every single scene and just be like, you're welcome. Because none of those heroes could do all the awesome things that they're doing if she hadn't saved their lives.
She's just the mother.
You're welcome.
She's the mother.
She is.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.